All right, here we go. We are here for a special edition of Chiropractic is Sexy on a Tuesday, not a Thursday. I'm Dr. Paula Ruffin.
I'm Dr. Erica Peabody, and we are just rocking and rolling this week. Dr. Paula will be out on Thursday, and so we thought we would just keep this rolling anyway. And so Tuesday works for me, Tuesday works for her. So here we are. Where are you? Where's our peeps?
I know. Where are our peeps? I know. We usually have Kenny popping in here, and yeah. Well, we figured we'd throw everybody off, but I did put the I put the announcement out several days ago because I wanted to make sure that people were aware. And then, of course, I didn't get a chance to go and post it. But I do see there are 2 people watching, but nobody's commenting. So if you are watching, could you please hit that thumbs up button for us so that you can feed the algorithm and let others know that we're here? We'd appreciate that. Yeah, so outstanding. So you had an amazing weekend. You were in Colorado, and there we go. There's Kenny.
I was. I'm just. I got home. I flew really early yesterday morning. Got up at 4:30. Flew at 7 Colorado time. No, wait. 7. Yes, that's right. Which is really 9 o'clock this time. So when I'm doing the reverse hour math, it doesn't turn out too bad. And then I made it into the office yesterday afternoon and then slept 10 hours last night, which was life-giving. And it's beautiful here and sunny, and happy to be here just getting, the after vacation stuff up and going. So greetings from Ohio. Hi, Devil Dog.
Devil Dog Prepper.
Yeah, so good to see you guys. So as we get into, we got our peeps. So as we get into the day today, and since you are traveling Dr. Paul is traveling tomorrow, I thought, one of the greatest things about the two of us is that we are very well versed on the impromptu style of actual truly comedy, but it's not comedy. It's literally the yes and. And so I thought I would throw this out. I would like to know, and then I'll share my 3, but what are 3 things that you do to keep your health on board while you travel, especially airline travel and getting to a destination that's 3 hours different? So what are your top 3 things that you do?
Are you asking me or the audience?
I'm asking you.
Okay. So this is such a great question because I actually was going to do a video tonight. I think I've said this to you before. I have a bit of food insecurity. And when I say that, what I mean is that I really get a little bit of anxiety when I don't have access to the kind of food that I want to eat. So when I'm traveling, my biggest travel, it's not a hack. I mean, it's pretty much just how I eat all the time, but I take food that is travelable. So in tomorrow, so I bought collard greens, and I'm going to make a wrap sandwich. So I'll have probably some chicken in there, and I use either arugula or I get cilantro, which is really yummy for a sandwich. So I'll make a wrap sandwich using collard greens, and then just load it up with some good high quality protein and those nutrients. And it's amazing how much that fills you up between the fiber and the nutrition. And then I always do sliced cucumbers. I have a bag of nuts with me, and so real like snacky things like that. I have like some of those gluten-free balls, like little protein balls. I said balls twice. But so that's what I try to just keep healthy snacks with me and on deck so that when I'm hungry, I don't feel like I don't have to like feel uncomfortable in that like hunger. And I also I can tend to get motion sick. So I make sure I do have like salty snacks. So I salt my nuts. I carry my little salt. So I put that on my cucumbers. So I want to make sure I have good salty snacks because that does help me in the event of turbulence or making sure that, I don't get sick. So, and then the other thing is water, just lots of high quality water. I did pack up some electrolyte packets. So I have those when I get there, because I am going to be in Napa doing some wine tasting. So I will be protecting myself with some good magnesium and some nutrients. So that's just from a travel perspective. I really focus more on the food part of it to make sure that I'm not derailing my diet and I don't feel terrible when I get there on the other side. So how about you? And I know you asked for 3, but that was
yeah, no, that's great. So definitely. So one of the things that I do is I usually go to the airport a little bit early and get into the Delta Lounge. And then from there, they actually supply pretty good food there. I do
Delta Lounge. Bravo to, yes.
Yeah. Kudos to them, because you can really get some fresh things, lots of protein, high protein snacks and stuff like that. They always have like an egg salad or a tuna salad or chicken salad that they just made. There's usually
the
like
food
cheese,
is fresh,
salami, and fruits and all that. So
they do those little egg bites.
Yeah, sometimes I'll grab a coffee when I'm there, something like that. But what I do, especially when you guys are on the plane, I suggest when they come around, ask for 2 waters, but chug the first one right away. And every time they come around, ask for 2, especially if they're giving out just the little bottles, ask for 2 and chug one right away. So I just focus on chugging water. A lot of times, this time I really messed up. I didn't bring my tote. I left it in my garage. Unfortunately, it had earplugs in it. So I really like to have earplugs with me, mostly because the nervous system is just over bombarded and overstimulated with noise pollution, especially from the planes and those people around you. I don't know if you've been in a plane where you're like, you've got somebody really annoying sitting next to you, listening to something too loud. Misophonia is definitely a thing, just like annoyance with external noises, that repetition or what have you, but it'll get lodged into my nervous system and keep going. So I usually have earplugs with me, but I didn't this time, unfortunately. And then the last thing that I really like to focus on, you know what, vacations are vacation, but that doesn't mean we need to derail what we've done to build our health and wellness along the way. Making sure to pack good quality supplements. And I tend to fast. Not one of us is starving. We can have starvation moments or feelings of like deep hunger, but I choose to fast and I never, ever overindulge when I'm on vacation. That always leads to me feeling like super depleted. My body doesn't know how to digest some of that stuff. Although I pack digestive enzymes no matter what, I just eat super light for all the days that I'm gone. You know, a lot of people love like the all-inclusive, the blah, 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 those kinds of vacations. That's like a nightmare just because it's hard not to overindulge. But then I always look for like a grocery store when I'm around something, like there was a Whole Foods within walking distance. So I love to eat off of the Whole Foods, their salad bar line, just because you can get all kinds of really good high quality foods and never to tax and bombard my system. If there is going to be indulgence in like wine, for instance, you're headed to Napa. You know, I was out for a 50th birthday party. That's why I flew to Colorado for a long weekend. I love packing. And I don't know how you feel about activated charcoal, but I love that after a night of cocktails. Mm-hmm. It just really helps the body to get rid of all that stuff. But I actually do that at home too. So yeah, making sure I have all the good stuff on board and packed. So
yeah, I love it. Another thing too that I do, and same with you. So on the other side, I've had people too, they're like, oh, you should just fast when you fly, then you don't have to worry about eating. And again, because I tend to get motion sick, that doesn't work for me. I need to make sure that I have good, high quality food. I can't eat shit, right? But I have good quality food, and that definitely calms my stomach. But one of the things I do, you know, I take and not this because it has the open straw, but, you know, I have my stainless steel water bottle and I fill it with ice before I leave the house. I love cold water. So I fill my water bottle with ice and then I go through security. And then the first sign of I know exactly where the water filler container is at DTW, and I go straight to it and I fill my water. And so, and then same with what Dr. Erica is saying is that when they come by with water, I ask them and I just keep filling my water bottle. And then I have my water bottle with me when I'm traveling. And then also when I get there, what I usually end up doing is I'll buy like a styrofoam cooler and I'll keep that with me. Like I'm going to be from San Francisco to San Jose and then up into Napa and traveling around and Sacramento and I'm going to be all over. So having that cooler with me to be able to just put things in there as I would like, that's important too. So that's another one of my tricks is when I get there, I like to be self-contained for everything that I do and not have to rely on searching for things that I want. Like, and yeah, absolutely find the first Whole Foods, right? So yeah. So I think it's really, I think what, you know, the whole point of it is that it sounds to me, and I will speak for you because I'm going to distill this for a second, sounds to me like we both become even more hyper aware of ourselves, our health, and our habits when we travel because it's so easy to derail, right?
Yeah.
Can I say that fairly? Yeah.
It's so easy. And the things are available that we normally don't have, or we're out to dinner, we're out to cocktails, that kind of thing. And it's even more critical. So one thing that Dr. Paula and I both do is like, once we get back home, it's like 100 miles an hour as soon as you hit the ground. We don't have a day to recover from that. So for instance, I got up at 4:30 yesterday morning in Colorado, which is really 6:30 my time. So inside of my mind, I'm like, yes, this is early, but it's totally doable. I went into the office 3 to 6 as soon as I got home. So it's not like I can just take a day to recover from the actual vacation. Now, earlier in life, like 20s, 30s, like that just felt really fun to go do. But then you'd come home like 10 pounds of just inflammation, 5 to 10 pounds of inflammation on the body, then have to work to regroup and rework that. So one of the major things is my body gets under stress and adrenal fatigue, and I stop digesting very well. So if I'm not digesting and I'm not moving my food through, like my digestion gets slow, I don't need to put a whole bunch of food on top of that. I need to listen to the body signals. I need to do what's best for, being able to have a little meditation time, definitely walking, movement, all those kinds of things, just to make sure that when I get home, I don't need a vacation from that vacation. I'm over that idea. I want to go home, go out. And fortunately, I hang out with really healthy people. So we're doing really healthy things anyway. And it actually brings us right to the principle number 17, which is cause and effect. For every effect, there's a cause, and every cause, there's an effect. So hello, apply accordingly. Choose your battles, govern your body accordingly.
Hit enter, apply. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. I mean, what's the cause and effect? So, time change, and you said it's only 2 hours, but we all have that effect even when we just change the time for an hour for daylight saving time. And so it's a time change effect that wreaks havoc, that causes inflammation, that raises blood sugar, it creates more cortisol and more stress. So we have that piece of it. Then if you go out and you just completely derail on your diet and you're not moving, you're not exercising. Unfortunately, I was planning on doing some really insane hiking, not insane hiking, but some, going to some beautiful areas that I had hiked when I lived out there. And I have tendonitis in my foot, and I'm like, and that's driving me crazy because I can't move like I want to. So that's going to be a little bit of a bummer. So that means because I can't move as well as I want to, that means I really have to pay attention. So, I can't fill my body with, horrible amounts of junk. Right. So I think that's just, getting to enjoy your vacation for what it is. Overindulging in food is not that part of it. When we went to Mexico for my daughter's senior trip 3 years ago now, God, feels time's flying. And it was an all-inclusive resort. And and I was with my friend Heidi, and, Heidi's totally our people, and she's a very healthy human. And it was very similar. We didn't eat much. And when we would eat, it was like, she and I had the healthiest plates of anybody, everybody was indulging in all the fried stuff. And we were like, I'll take the poached eggs. And I was like, oh my God, they have arugula. Like I was so excited the resort had arugula, So.
Yep. I get it. I always, whenever I'm at one of those kinds of places where there's not all you can eat, because I don't go to those kinds of places, but let's just say a wedding, a reception, something. Like I was at a women's forum luncheon last week, and they give you a plate to go through this buffet line, and then they give you a salad bowl. I don't even take the bowl. I just fill my plate with salad first.
The salad bowl is this big.
I know, but I literally cover the plate with salad first and then put the stuff on, like chicken is like definitely the protein on the salad, but any of the sides, like if they have potatoes, like I think they had like a roasted potato, like I have 3 or 4 little tiny pieces of potato, look, that kind of thing, like different kinds of ratios for food, because for everything that we put in our body, there is an effect and there's no way through it. So great question about activated charcoal. Now, I do know that one of the contraindicated things is type 1 diabetes. So like something like that, activated charcoal really affects sugar levels. But I like to take it like for a period of time, or to follow an evening of a party. Like I live on a lake, and in the summertime, there's lots of celebrations and things like that. So when I come home, I'll take an extra high dose of magnesium, sometimes vitamin D to go along with, definitely digestive enzymes, and then on with usually 2 capsules of activated charcoal. And I wake up feeling good. Now, for my supplements, when I packed to go on vacation, it was always, I knew that Friday night we were going to have a party, Saturday night we were going to have a party, and then Sunday I knew that I was going to need to recover from some of the celebrations. Although, you guys, I got to be honest, I have a drink or a drink and a half, maybe 2 max in a night of celebrating. And so I knew to add the activated charcoal to those 3 mornings. So like Friday morning, I know it's going to be traveling the night before, or Friday morning, I knew I had a birthday dinner the night before. That's what it was. I knew I would have one cocktail. Saturday morning, I knew Friday night party was happening. Sunday morning, I knew Saturday night concert was going to be happening. So I put 2 capsules in. I have one of those pill things that divvy up the days. So I just did it like that. So long-term activated charcoal use, I like to use it, term it out. Whether that be 2 weeks or definitely an overnight cocktail. And then I stopped taking it. But that would be a really interesting thing to look up, that, definitely, I'm not exactly positive you can take it super long term. I do know, I grew up in an apple orchard. I've been in high heavy metals growing up into my skin, into my bare feet all the time. That's how I grew. So probably could use a big extra detox with it. But I got to do my research before I'll actually really work on getting that into into an actual supplement regimen. So yeah, that's how I like to use it.
Yeah, I have not ever used it. I do my arsenal is electrolytes. So I do a lot of electrolytes, and then I have this is my liver. So my liver detox. So I do that. So I think, we're both doing similar things to help the body in different ways. So there's a multitude of things that you can do to maintain your health. And I think the bottom line is making sure you're getting the proper nutrients. The one thing I would say too about the activated charcoal is it is a chelator, so it binds things. So I think that's where you're saying, like, don't take it long term, because it can actually bind other essential nutrients. And then if you're not supplementing over on top of that, you can lose some. So it's going to bind all the bad stuff, but sometimes it can take the good stuff with it. So also don't take it with like don't take activated charcoal and your multivitamin, because it's going to bind all that and you're going to poop it all out.
Right, for sure. Yeah, it's definitely something to use and have in your arsenal if it's of interest. But even like if it's going to pull out heavy metals and it's going to start to circulate some of that stuff, like chelation, really, really quick chelation is never a good idea. Like it's just better to do just like a whole regimen of things rather than really attacking something like that. So yeah, for sure.
Fit one bottle of wine in in a giant glass. I'm like, I need that glass. Yes, wine is basically fruit salad. Here's a good question. Hi, David Gray. Welcome in. Haven't seen you for a while. Thanks for being here. Detox foot pads. I know people use them. I don't know. I mean, I know that our most the pores in our hands and our feet are so highly absorbable. So that's where we will absorb most of our toxic chemicals, like receipts from the store. You should never touch those because they go right into your skin. So yeah, do you know about the foot pads?
No, but I've done a detox foot bath. And so that was very interesting. It's not something that I went back for necessarily to go and do. They put this ionizer in the water that ionizes the water and encourages the water to release, or the feet to release things. So it's definitely a good detox area of the body. I haven't used the actual foot pads, but I do know, and I haven't done it yet, but I'm probably going to start pretty soon. Recently was just listening to just an expert, and I can't even remember exactly who it was, but they were talking about rubbing magnesium cream on the soles of the feet for definitely when you're ill, but recovery, relaxation, for all the things at night. I remember growing up, it was like put Vicks Vapor Rub on the feet, put socks on. Like there is a lot of absorption that happens in through the feet. And so I don't know about the actual detox pads, but I do know that the feet are a great detox avenue. So yeah, I don't even know what the pads are.
Another one I use too is I use food grade diatomaceous earth. So Bohemian was talking about how she uses sometimes the charcoal for animals. I will use DE for the dogs. So now that we're coming into like flea and tick season, he'll get a little sprinkle of DE on top of his food. And diatomaceous earth it's ground fossil shell flour. So it actually helps to kill parasites. So that's a really excellent potent detoxifier of parasites, larvae, anything like that. And that's where, like, if your pets get, or if you get, flea bites or tick bites or mosquitoes, anything like that. So that will help to kill that larva so it doesn't build up and become parasitic inside of the body. So, again, all of these things have an effect, right?
Yeah, they all do. And every decision we make every single day does too.
Yeah.
My friend that turned 50, she ended up, she's she's had kidney replacement a couple of years ago, and not a couple, it's been 6 years now. And, she's like, if I would have been able to do different things in my life prior to that, she's a type 1. That's why I know activated charcoal. I know a lot about type 1 now, just being with my best friend. And but anyway, she's like, if I did some different things, the cause and effects would have been different. And who knows how long, organ replacement and those kinds of things. But if everything that we do with our bodies every single day is going to have an effect going forward. And, I get right back to, so I had this woman come in last week into the office before we left. And I try to limit that because I'm like, my brain is in a different place, and the office is, I'm high volume anyway. And then I'm like taking a new patient, and there was one that was terrified of dogs. And she was like, you could tell that her whole entire existence was just all bottled up. And I gave her one adjustment. I encouraged her to pick up magnesium, cod liver oil, and I think vitamin C she picked up at the desk on the way out. She hadn't been doing those 3 things. And I saw her for the second visit yesterday, and it's like, me responding and making sure that Lou steered clear of her and did what he was supposed to do, allowed her to settle in the office with us. She hadn't been adjusted in over a decade, maybe 15 years. But just allowing her a little bit of putting some input into her spine, getting her to shift a couple different things. She came in yesterday and she's like, I just got a long way to go. We've got a lot of work to do. She's like, this is the best that I've felt. And she's meek and guarded and all of that. She's like, this is the best that my body's felt in years and years. And, when you're 45, 50, 55, 60, we have 20, 30, 40 years ahead of us. I'm 47. I just turned 47. So I'm hoping for another 40 to 50 years. Like, everything I do today matters. Like having 10 hours of sleep last night matters. Like all of that just matters in everything we do. And so I love coming to you guys every week and just having these discussions and make sure that we're at least checking in once a week and saying, hey, what you doing? What caused?
What you doing?
What effect? What cause? What effect?
Well, and I titled this video, are your habits making you healthy or sick? And we've had this conversation before that, whether it's you're deciding, should I sit here or should I take a walk? Well, which one's going to make you healthier? Which one's going to make you sicker? Should I eat McDonald's or should I eat something healthy? Well, which one's going to kill you and which one's going to make you healthy? So start thinking of the things that you're doing. And I know I've been talking about this a lot lately, and that there's so much confusion, which I think is deliberate in the food industry, in the nutrition, in the health industry. And it's easy to say, God, well, I don't know what to do. However, when you really get down to it, you know what you shouldn't be doing. So if you're like, well, okay, I was told one day eggs are good. Now they're not good for me. So I'm just going to have a bowl of Captain Crunch. Well, come on, right? Like you can just intuitively say, I think the egg would probably be better than the Captain Crunch. Yeah. So start thinking about that. Like, don't get pulled in to that confusion. Use your intuition. We all have it. And I think it's so important that we start really paying attention to our bodies, what they need, what it feels like to eat something healthy. I have a friend of mine that we're colleagues here in the community, and we went out to eat. This was a few months ago, and he ordered. We went to the sushi place, and I ordered some kind of like sushi roll that was wrapped in cucumber and really light. And he ordered like General Tso's chicken, which is like deep fried breaded chicken with all that like crazy nasty sauce on it. And it came with this beautiful side of steamed broccoli, like this big, and I was like, oh, okay, well, at least they're given some good vegetables. So he ate all the General Tso's chicken and he left the broccoli. And when the server came back and took his plate, I was literally like, I was like, oh my God. Like, it's like, I need that broccoli. So I didn't say anything. So then a couple months go by, we go out to lunch again. He orders the same thing. I order the same thing, light, and I said, I go, don't let that broccoli go to waste. Okay. And he was like, what are you talking about? I go, you didn't eat your broccoli last time. And he's like, what are you, my mother? I go, yeah, I kind of like, but this is how I'm like, if you want to be healthy. And he also had told me that because of me, I had never said anything to him, but because of me, he stopped eating fast food. Every time I'd be talking to him on the phone, if it was dinner time, I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, I'm driving through Wendy's. I'm driving through Arby's. He's a grown man. Like, this is, he's 60 years old. Like, this is not okay. And so he texted me yesterday and he goes, you have no idea how badly I'm dying for a Big Mac. And he was serious. And the thing is, he's lost weight. He's feeling better. His skin looks better because he decided to stop eating fast food. But I said, this is just a testament to the addictive properties of this garbage, right? This is what they want from you, is to get you addicted to the things that don't serve you. And now you're in a system and a cycle, and now it's medication after medication, and you become a massive part of profits. So don't allow that for yourself.
No, that's great. I mean, one of the things that I've always said is it's the Food and Drug Administration, and it really should be the Food Administration and the Drug Administration, and they should be separate entities. And the fact that people don't see what's happening there is just like, we're just kidding ourselves, truly. Like, we know, what you should be doing. And that doesn't mean that we need to be 100% of the time. However, if we can do, get really close to that 80% of just doing awesome stuff with ourselves on the weekly basis, then, there's a little bit of room, the little 20% room to kind of wiggle around a little bit. But the more everything that we do has an effect, it really, really does. So, oh my God, what happens if I drink a Diet Coke and a Big Mac? Won't that cancel? Oh, I mean, just vomit. I'm like, have a gut, like, just the word Diet Coke is like straight up poison. I think actually the Big Mac is probably healthier than the Diet Coke, to be honest. But it's both just terrible. One of our colleagues was saying that they are going to try a new billboard, and I have to look this up, so don't quote me on this yet, but they're going to try a new McDonald's billboard that has no M on it. It has no McDonald's anything, not the smiley face, not Ronald McDonald, nothing. It's a big red billboard. And then they're going to have the scent. Somehow this billboard is going to excrete the scent of McDonald's in and around it. And I don't know if that's like through some sort of machine, that like a fog machine of McDonald's French fry smell. And again, like I said, I got to look this up, but it's like, I'm curious if like what would actually happen with that. But I also think just the red sign with that smell around it, like that's
So
going to
bizarre. And what's the red, right? So they must have done some.
Yeah. Well, red is an action color. So that's for sure. That's like a psychological action color. But then having the olfactory scent, olfaction is the sense of smell, and it has our highest connection to memory.
Mm-hmm.
And who doesn't love the smell of McDonald's French fries? 100% love the smell of that. It's just part of it. It's part of our culture. It doesn't mean that we need to eat that and choose something different. But also, it's pretty powerful.
It's crazy.
Uh-huh.
Well, and I was reading this morning, we have a true epidemic in our country of obesity. And now they're recommending the weight loss drugs, which are diabetic drugs being used for weight loss. They're recommending them now for kids over diet.
Well, and they're also behind the scenes scrambling to figure out how to prevent the muscle wasting.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh, you guys, my dog had a dog sitter over the weekend. He's laying by me. I don't know what he ate. He is like nauseating. This is the third time I've got stuck in some of his green set. It's like, holy mackerel.
Thank goodness we can't smell it.
It is so bad.
On the topic of the billboard.
Oh, Lewis.
Oh my gosh. Well, I want to go back and finish that comment about with the obesity drugs, because the American Academy of Pediatrics. Now, if this doesn't tell you it profits over people, the American Academy of Pediatrics said, because they also recommend the weight loss drugs for kids 13 and older. And they just came out with a study, and I looked it up this morning. I was like, you have got to be kidding me. And it said they don't recommend low carb diets for kids for overweight kids, because it can cause them to get mental issues around fat shaming. And I'm like, so what are these horrible foods? So wait a minute. You don't want to teach, and you all have heard me speak enough times. My platform is Legacy of Health. Teach your children. Mm-hmm. This is a horrific, to me, this is child abuse. You need to be teaching your kids, do better. Chicken nuggets and Fritos and Doritos, that is not a rite of passage. Right. It is, you are destroying your children. And our children they do not have the lifespan that we do. So we are killing our children slowly. They will die. The lifespan has decreased by 2 to 3 years in men and women in the next generation down, because of our obesity crisis, the metabolic crisis, and our food crisis. We have to be boots on the ground. We have to be grassroots and doing the things that are going to help push that legacy, so that they can then have a voice like we are here, and making sure that you know the truth about how to take care of yourselves.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Before I got just like smoke screens from the drug, there's true, like they are really trying to scramble to figure out the muscle wasting that's happening in the body, and trying to figure out how to prevent start the fat loss, but prevent the muscle. Like the body just doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. And the particular, with principle number 17, every effect has a cause and every cause has an effect. Like there's so many things that are pushed onto the market so quickly, and that we just don't know what the long-term ramifications are. And the fact that, this has been like super hot topic for the last really probably 6 months, it's really gone crazy. And it's we don't know the long-term effects. We have no idea the long-term effects hormonally, all the things. It's super disruptive. One of the things that Dr. Paul and I always talk about is the fact that, not that our profession is the end all be all for every single person, but there hasn't been one thing that we do that is recalled that needs to go back. Our profession was developed in 1895. It was first invented over an adjustment that restored hearing. And we'll talk about that sometime. But, we're now, however many years that is, 128 years, if that's correct, 129 years this year, almost 130. And we haven't had to change a whole lot. We're developing our ability to address, different kinds of people, use different techniques and things like that. But it's all been the same right from the start. So I'm so grateful in the very beginning that, 20 years in, I was even telling a patient yesterday, even 20 years in, like I'm more excited than ever before, ever. It's so fun to be in practice and be people's greatest part of their week. So,
well, and tomorrow I'm going to land and I'm meeting up with one of my classmates, and we're heading straight to San Jose to go to the school. And we were just going to do a visit. We were just like going to walk the halls and just kind of like maybe talk to some teachers. And in setting this up, they had asked us, they said, well, would you mind, can we have like a meet and greet? Would you do a Q&A with the students? We'll gather all the students. We'll have a celebration. And I was like, wait a minute. 26 years ago, blink of an eye, I was just sitting in that chair and people like me were coming in to visit. So surreal that, when you talk about like having this platform and being so excited to share the idea. And I'm so excited. I'm so honored to be able to go and talk to these new students who haven't even been in practice, who I don't even know if they know what their future looks like, but you better believe it, they're going to know that they met Dr. Paula Ruffin, right? They're going to know, and they have to know that whatever they can, wherever they're at now, they have to walk into this profession and know that they have to be strong and they have to create great impact and make sure that we move the profession forward, because there are other schools and entities attempting to take the profession into places that are not authentic. They move away from 33 principles. And that's why we decided to lean in and say, no. We have to make sure that we keep these principles alive and that people understand what the true meaning of chiropractic and health and wellness is. So I'm super honored. I can't even wait. It's going to be amazing.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, one of the things too is that when you're getting out of school, and this December will be 20 years for me. And I think, are you at 26? 26 years, Dr. Paula?
26, yeah.
So one of the things is, we definitely need to fight the good fight for chiropractic, but even more than that, I think it's so critical to just, and any chiropractic student out there, anybody that's, looking towards getting into chiropractic or what have you, like, it's so important to also just share how awesome it is to be so many years into something and love it so much still. Like we are truly changing lives. And one of the reasons why we came on here is so that we could begin to share. And I think we started in November of last year. This is going on for quite a few months now, but it's just to share some of the stories from the trenches of our offices. And we get so busy, nose down to the grind, that we don't always get out and be able to share. And it's really fun to just take the stories right from our offices and just share with people how great it is. So, and I know people are now, even from this podcast alone, picking up and headed to figure out how to get under here. It's great.
Yeah. This is a classmate of mine, Mark. Mark, it's been so great to see you jumping around and commenting and following. Thanks for being here. You need to come and meet us at the school tomorrow at 1:00. Where are you? Are you in San Jose still, or where did you? I don't even know where you were from originally, but if you're in San Jose, meet us at the school at 1:00 tomorrow. And awesome. Thank you, Uncle Al. Thank you. Yeah. So going back to Yeah, so this is interesting. So her Bohemian's friend takes the Ozempic for her diabetes. Her blood sugar isn't ever right, but she says she's not hungry. This is the thing. What's the equal and opposite reaction? You are not fixing anything. Now, I do understand that there may be a small population of people who could benefit as a jump start. This is not the be all end all, but I know people who are using it as the be all end all and, not changing their eating habits. I guarantee you the people that I know who've done this and have lost weight, and I've known people who've been overweight most of their lives. I've watched them. I have family members. They are closet addicts, sugar addicts, mass quantities of alcohol. This isn't going to fix that. Like, you have to come toe to toe with I guess I'll call them demons, right? I mean, that's an addiction. Food is an addiction, and you have to just face it. You have to make a decision. Do you want something better for yourself? Because taking that route and not changing lifestyle, that is where it's going to get people into trouble. And then, of course, being on it long term and not changing your lifestyle habits. So
yeah. And it really is. It all boils down to
gosh, that's crazy.
Horrifying.
That is, it's insane. How about eat some fruit? What? It is so dumb. Oh my gosh. And that's the thing too, trying to, I have a medical doctor down the street who we refer back and forth. They refer me a lot of nutrition patients, but he said, he goes, I don't want to this was a year and a half, 2 years ago that I started to meet with him. And he said people were coming in and wanting to, it was probably a year and a half ago. He goes, they were demanding that he puts them on these drugs. This was before it even skyrocketed. And he goes, I don't want to do that. I don't know. This is a medical doctor who says to me, he goes, I have no idea what you do from a nutritional perspective, but I'm sure it's way better than this. And he admits, he goes, I know nothing about how to coach my clients in nutrition. And I have so much respect for him because he's saying that, and then he's sending people to me instead of how many people in the medical community, if they don't know, they're too afraid to tell their patients, and they're too afraid to send their patients off to somewhere else. I have a patient that is 16, came in, new patient yesterday, 16 years old. A whole bunch of stuff going on, but having headaches, right? They didn't even come in for the headaches, but I dug into the headaches, having massive headaches. She went to her primary care physician about the headaches, didn't find anything. She went to physical therapy for the headaches. That didn't help. She she went to an EENT, nothing there. Then her medical doctor is now sending her to a neurologist to have the headaches evaluated. Never once did anyone along that chain say, you should go see the chiropractor. They came to me just randomly on their own. And then not one person asked this 16-year-old girl about her dietary habits. Nobody. You can't, I guarantee you, if you suffer from chronic headaches, you have a metabolic issue that is being driven by your food and lifestyle choices. Period. There's no way around that. You start to clean that up, and we can clean up the headaches and, of course, get adjusted.
Absolutely. Yeah. So kind of to wrap this up, I mean, as we would all know, this particular principle number 17, everything, every effect has a cause and every cause has an effect. Back when this was developed, it was basically, chiropractic was a huge part of the cause was the subluxation in the spine, the interference in the information superhighway. And that it was very simple back then. Now we're bombarded with all different kinds of things, as well as interference in the information superhighway. So if we can start to clear that up, we can start to look across the board at other eat well, move well, think well, get your rest, get your water, and get adjusted. So if we're looking at those 6 pillars that we always talk about, we can really start to affect both definitely the cause of what's going on, and then the effects that it has on our bodies, and apply to everything. I mean, that one is like so straightforward, so simple, and really, really logical. And we know that about all of life. It's just nice to kind of take a moment and look at it, how it applies to our health. So,
Well, and I always say, when the student is ready, the teacher appears. So
right.
as we
So
come in
get
here, and I
ready.
know a lot of our weekly messages sound similar, but someone somewhere along the way is going to hear the same message in a different way and finally connect with it. And that's what we hope. And so, today I just want to leave you guys with making sure you're asking yourself the question, is this going to harm me or heal me? And that means, that comes from your thoughts. Are you thinking good, positive thoughts? Are you moving well? If your sleep pattern is off, then dive in. Let's figure out why you're not sleeping. We have to get you sleeping well. Are you not eating properly? Prepare, like Dr. Erica was saying, if you are going to an event and like, I know I'm going away. I know that Friday is going to be all day wineries, food, all of that. So I am preparing my body. I'm preparing my health to go and have that indulgent day. And I'm not going to beat myself up, and I'm not going to worry about it. And so I want that for you. I want you to be able to be living, 80 to 90% of your life on the good side of things, the things that heal you, so that if you do go and indulge in things that could harm you, if you're doing them 80% of the time, that it's not that big of a deal. So you just keep that in mind. Is this going to harm me or heal me? So yes, theory. That's what I said last week. It's like the theory of relativity.
Yeah,
Yes,
for sure.
everything has an equal and opposite reaction. So
For sure.
fantastic. So do you want to fill us in?
Yeah, 18. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. So principle number 18, which will be next week, is evidence of life. So the signs of life are evidence of the intelligence of life. And, we go back to the triune of life, intelligence, force, and matter. And we're going to revisit signs of life are evidence of the intelligence of life. And I mean, this goes all the way down to what we're putting in our body, how it comes out, but also just really but continuing to respect the innate intelligence that builds this incredible thing, orchestrates everything through the nervous system, and how adding in the right things helps us live to our fullest. So, yeah.
So much to talk about on that one. Oh my gosh, I can't wait. I want to dive right in now.
I know. So have the best week, you guys. Safe travels,
guys.
Dr. Paula.
Thank you.
Yes.
All right. We'll see you guys next Monday for Reset Monday, next Thursday for Chiropractic is Sexy. There will be no Sunday Night Live because I will be traveling, but I appreciate you being here as always. Make sure you let others know so we can continue to grow. All right. Love you guys so much.
Love you.